You've had the campaign going on today. You spend, you tell me, if you don't spend, we won't spend.
Yeah, you
right?
spend, we spend.
You spend, we spend. How did that go today? And also, is it something you're going to be carrying forward? Because we are coming to the stage now where they will be spending or won't be spending, whatever it's going to be.
Look, a lot of people question the timing of it, and a lot of people also question the fact that, why are you doing it? We just signed Ozil for £42 million, and I'll address them two issues now, because, it's hard to type that relentlessly on Twitter to different people, and especially when people aren't going to show objectivity. But timing-wise, listen, the Arsenal board do not communicate with fans. We don't get an audience with the board, very, very rarely, and it will be preset questions. It will be quite well managed. The only time we get exposure to the board to actually let our voice known is match days. That's it. What other time? If I was to say to fans like, why don't we all come up to the stadium on a Saturday in June, realistically, how many people would turn out? It would be you and me. And even Tao might not bother. Do you know what I mean? He'd be like, no, I've got stuff to do. So listen, it has to be during the game. The best thing I could think of doing was during the game, but not during the 90 minutes, because as I've said, they're sacred before. So it could only be before then in terms of timing. If we did it Emirates Cup, transfer window started, World Cup's finished, it's too late. Players would have moved, prices would have gone up. If we do it at any other time other than the last home game of the season, we've missed that opportunity to tell the club before the transfer window starts, this is what we expect. Now, in terms of why, we signed Mesut Ozil for £42 million last year. Summer was still a failure of a transfer window. Fair enough, we signed Mesut Ozil, world-class signing, guys, over the moon. As you know, I went and bought my shirt on the day. But we were in there for a striker. We were after Higuain, we were after Suarez. We failed on that front. And ultimately, many fans believe that that's what cost us this year. So even though we got Ozil, and it was a great signing, we benefited as a result of consequence. If Bale hadn't have gone, we wouldn't have got Ozil. If Bale hadn't have gone, who knows what would have happened on that final day? We might have got Kallstrom then, And all credit to Kallstrom, his coming in has done all right, but he wasn't the answer. He's not what we were looking for. So that wasn't a successful transfer window. It was very poorly managed with the Suarez affair and all that sort of stuff. Now, listen, that was poor. January was even worse. So we can't look at that Ozil transfer as, our club is now showing the ambition, because, as I say, it was consequence, and also there was failure. Overall, it was failure for me personally. Not only that, if you look at our last financial statements, we've got over 100 million in the bank. We've got a net asset surplus, which means our assets are greater than our liabilities. We've actually got money to spend, even when you look at our expenditure that's going to be coming out in the next 12 months or beyond that. Now, if we've got money to actually spend, why do we need to take 3% more off the fans? What's the point of increasing an already big bank balance? If it's kind of a case of, we need this to support our business model, then fine, fair enough. But even then, I didn't really mind the 3% because I know inflation exists and they have to increase their revenue streams, so fine, fair enough. But a lot of people don't realise that the fact that we played all our FA Cup games at home this year, that doesn't happen often. Statistically, if you play the FA Cup for 100 years, that'll happen 6 times. There's a 6% chance of that happening, one after the other, 4 home FA Cup ties. Now, you tell me, why couldn't the club have said, look, we said 3% at the start, given the fact that we had 4 home FA Cup ties, and as a result of that would have brought in over 10 million in match day revenue and all that sort of stuff, what we'll do, we'll defer the 3%. Not even cancel it. I'm not asking for anything unrealistic. I'm not asking Silent Stan to speak up all of a sudden and say, do you know what, let's reduce it by 3%. I know that's not going to happen, but why not defer it? Someone give me a logical reason why that can't happen. Because you've got the money you were going to make and more with the fact that you got 4 home FA Cup ties. 2 would be average. 4, 6% chance. So give something back to the fans. When was the last time we got a gesture? It's very, very rare. People might say the £2 off away games and all that sort of stuff. That was a
£10 voucher they gave us.
That was actually something set up by, I think it was Barclays or the Premier League, and all clubs put money in there and use that for the benefit of their fans. So it wasn't unique to Arsenal. That was like something run outside. When has it come from internal sources? When has anyone at the club ever said, we'll do this for the fans? And I think that FA Cup 6 and 100 year event was a perfect time to say, do you know what, we'll defer it. Just defer it. Do something for the fans. It's all a big cycle. Fans put money into the club. That bank balance gets bigger. If that bank balance doesn't go on strengthening the team or reducing or making it more affordable for fans, then what really are we getting given back? Because for me, as far as I can see, that's the only 2 things fans ask for. The ability to come and watch games and to be able to afford them, or to win trophies. if Arsenal were guaranteeing me every single trophy we enter every year, I'd probably say, all right, fine, double my season ticket, and I'm willing to pay it to see that. But, it doesn't work like that, so they have to start giving something back. It's not fair for them to continue to take and then not give. And that's why I say this is proportional. If they don't spend, why should we continue to put money back? And listen,
So with it now, if you see ambition throughout the summer, you're saying spend as normal. Excuse me, spend as normal.
without a doubt. And a lot of fans say to me, like, oh, so when will you be happy? When should we spend? And I'm not going to talk for other fans. This is an individual thing. When you think you're getting value for money, when you think the club is giving back to you, then go and buy that Puma shirt. I personally don't think that's what we're getting right now. Wenger's come out and, it pains me to say it because you know how I feel about Wenger. I love the guy and I support him. He's come out and said, we're going to have to do our business after July 15th. I'm praying that he's being a bit tactical in that statement, but I'm not going to hold my breath. I don't want to wait till July 15th where clubs are we're getting players we want to go from, we're getting leftovers. I want him to show a bit of ambition. You go and buy the Puma shirt when you see fit, but if we haven't signed him in 2 months, this will escalate. Right now, there's about, in terms of the people following it, it's worth about £110,000 in terms of lost revenue. So, it's kicking off and it will get bigger.